Week 4. Authorise is defined by the dictionary and its synonyms. Section 36, subsection 1 and 101, subsection 1 of the Copyright Act 1968 provide that copyright is infringed by a person who, not being the owner of the copyright, does in Australia or authorises the doing in Australia of any act comprised in copyright. The establishment of the doctrine of authorization liability catches those who authorize another individual to deal unlawfully in copyright material. This video will analyze the word authorize and its synonyms as defined in the Oxford Dictionary, along with relevant case law, and in doing so will attempt to establish any difference in the meaning of the words and how this can have an impact in a legal context. The Oxford Dictionary defines authorize as to give official permission for or approval to an undertaking or agent, and provides an expansive list of synonyms which includes permit, sanction, countenance, and approve. The 1975 case of the University of New South Wales and Morehouse saw Justice Gibbs accept the dictionary definition of authorise as to sanction, approve, and give countenance. It was also held that to authorise something was to do more than simply provide facilities for infringement, in this case photocopies, but to actively refrain from preventing the infringement. The Honourable Justices in Morehouse, however, failed to define the synonyms used, and as such created a vague and somewhat problematic use of the word. It is therefore necessary to define the synonyms to ensure they all have a similar meaning and can all be used in the same context. According to the Oxford Dictionary, to approve is to officially agree to or accept as satisfactory. To sanction is to threaten a penalty for disobeying a rule or law, and to give countenance is to provide support or approval. With the ordinary definition applied to all three synonyms, it is easy to see that the definition of authorise can be construed very widely. The 2012 case of Roadshow Films and IINet helps us to further establish whether or not the Oxford Dictionary synonyms for authorise essentially mean the same thing. It was argued by Roadshow Films that IINet's failure as an internet service provider to prevent its users from using the BitTorrent file sharing system to illegally download content from the internet constituted countenance by IINet. It was further argued that upon IINet becoming aware of the alleged infringements, it was obliged to issue notices of infringement and terminate the contracts of offending users, and in failing to do so, countenance said infringements. Justices Gummo and Hayne dismissed the appeal on the basis that the difficulties associated with this matter are unlikely to be resolved simply by referring to the dictionary definition of authorise. It was concluded that these matters, taken together, do not establish a case of authorization. The progression urged by the appellants form the evidence to indifference, to countenancing, and so to authorization, is too long a march. In both the United Kingdom and Canada, it has been held that in some instances, the meaning of countenance is not coextensive with authorize. That is, it can be unwise to place sole reliance on it as a synonym for authorize. Section 101(1) now provides the inference of authorization must be made with reference to the relevant facts of the matter at hand, rather than simply applying a dictionary definition.